The Lost World of Ancient Greece, Gods, Drama, and Too Much Wine. Hey guys, tonight we begin with a place that almost seems too good to be true if you like myths, chaos, and a lot of people who really, really loved wine. Yes, we are drifting back, way back to ancient Greece, a world of gods with very questionable ethics, kings who might have been a little too fond of sharp objects, and philosophers who spent more time arguing than doing anything remotely practical. So dim the lights, grab a pillow, maybe a tiny glass of something fermented, and let's gently float into a world that was beautiful, chaotic, and often tragically funny. Ancient Greece isn't just about olive trees and marble temples. It's a place where drama was basically the national pastime. And if you weren't busy watching someone's marriage fall apart, you were probably pondering whether a god would randomly strike you down for no particular reason. Or, if you were lucky, you were a god, in which case the rules didn't apply and you could do whatever you liked. And they did, all the time. Because why not? Anyway, let's ease into it slowly. Don't worry about taking notes. Just let your mind drift over the wine-stained, sun-baked world of gods and mortals alike. So we begin with the gods. Of course, the Greeks loved their pantheon. They had gods for just about everything, which made sense because apparently they needed a deity to blame for everything from a bad harvest to the fact that you stubbed your toe. Zeus, for example, you know him, king of the gods, thunderbolts at the ready, infamous for having a relationship problem that could probably fuel an entire season of reality TV. He was powerful, imposing, and frankly, a terrible partner. Yet somehow mortals still prayed to him, maybe hoping for divine forgiveness, or maybe hoping he wouldn't notice that time they borrowed a little too much olive oil. Zeus's siblings were equally entertaining in a slightly less terrifying way. Hera, his wife, was the goddess of marriage, which is ironic because her husband spent more time flirting with nymphs and mortals than attending their annual anniversary dinner. Then there is Poseidon, god of the sea, whose mood swings apparently influenced sailors' fates, which must have made seafaring a little stressful. And don't get me started on Hades, who managed the underworld and yet somehow maintained a quiet, dignified aura, considering he literally spent his time organizing the dead. Efficient, but emotionally unavailable. Probably relatable in some ways. But the gods weren't the only source of chaos. Humans, especially those fortunate enough to be royalty, were equally skilled at self-inflicted disaster. Take the Mycenaeans, for instance, an early Greek civilization that thought fortresses were more important than stability, and frankly, their palaces reflected that. These people were obsessed with status, wealth, and intricate burial practices that involved a lot of gold and not much common sense. Imagine spending your entire life collecting treasures only to have them buried with you under tons of stone. It's a bit like hoarding, but with more existential stakes. Meanwhile, ordinary Greek citizens were probably trying to make sense of it all. Democracy, at least in Athens, provided some level of civic participation, although by modern standards it was very exclusive. Women, slaves, and foreigners didn't really get a say, which, let's be honest, probably made life simpler for those running the show, but very complicated for everyone else. And of course, there were philosophers who decided to argue about the nature of reality, ethics, and the cosmos, while seemingly never bothering to ensure anyone had clean drinking water. Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, they were all brilliant in ways that make you marvel and also want to take a nap. The Greeks thought it was important to question everything, and they did. Everything, even, apparently, whether it was worth arguing about small household matters. Because why not, if the world is destined for chaos anyway? Floating gently into mythology, the stories are sometimes comforting in their consistency and sometimes completely unhinged. Take the Trojan War, a decade-long conflict sparked by the alleged beauty of one woman named Helen. Think about it. 10 years of siege, bloodshed, and a city in flames, all because someone couldn't resist flirting with Paris. And yet, Greek storytellers present this with a certain calm inevitability. It's like they were saying, yes, humans are doomed to repeat the same mistakes, but isn't it kind of charming? And it is, in a melancholy sort of way. Or consider the labors of Heracles. The man had strength beyond measure and probably a chronic anger management issue, but also he endured 12 nearly impossible tasks, like cleaning stables that had never been cleaned before in human history. And yet, he persisted, which is a strange lesson for viewers today because it's both inspiring and a little exhausting just to think about. Of course, no discussion of ancient Greece would be complete without acknowledging the philosophers' less practical habits. They were often barefoot, eating simple meals and wandering public spaces while contemplating the cosmos. Diogenes, for example, decided that living in a barrel was the peak of enlightenment, which might have been more about philosophy than avoiding taxes or roommates. Either way, the imagery is soothing in a strangely chaotic sense. A man so committed to questioning social norms that he could completely ignore societal expectations. One might imagine him smiling at us today, bemused that we still need chairs and microwaves to survive. Art and architecture, meanwhile, provide a gentler layer of contemplation. The Greeks built temples that had survived millennia, not because they were practical, but because they were aesthetically pleasing and constructed with obsessive attention to proportion. Columns, friezes, statues, they all serve as reminders that the Greeks cared deeply about appearances. Even their pottery, often adorned with scenes of gods, heroes, and everyday life, shows a quiet reverence for narrative. And sometimes, just a subtle hint of humor. It's easy to imagine a potter shaking his head as he painted a particularly dramatic scene of Dionysus getting drunk, thinking, well, at least I'll be remembered for this. Speaking of Dionysus, let's not ignore the god of wine and revelry. He embodies the softer, chaotic side of ancient Greece. Parties, dancing, and that blissful surrender to indulgence. Festivals in his honor were essentially permission slips to drink, dance, and forget the tedious rules of civilization for a while. And somehow, humans managed to balance this indulgence with philosophy, warfare, and civic duties. It's a little exhausting just to think about, which is perfect for a sleepy narrative like ours. Imagine lying in a cool room, letting your mind drift over masked revelers, stumbling through streets, their laughter echoing over stone temples, while a few wise men argue quietly in corners about virtue and logic. It's oddly soothing. Now, of course, life wasn't all philosophical musings and wine-soaked festivals. There were also those slightly tragic elements, the over-reliance on fate, the frequent wars between city-states, and the social hierarchies that dictated nearly every aspect of existence. The Greeks seemed aware of the fragility of life, and perhaps that's why they wrote so much poetry, drama, and history, to gently remind themselves and us that even in chaos, there is beauty in observation. And for a viewer lying in bed tonight, that's exactly the kind of gentle reminder that allows one to drift off peacefully. In Athens, citizens attended theaters to watch tragedies unfold in a highly formalized setting. These plays were slow, rhythmic, and could, when read out loud, easily lull a person into a meditative state. Sophocles, Euripides, and Aeschylus wrote stories that balanced moral lessons with a quiet, almost hypnotic pacing. Characters often faced dilemmas that were inevitable and frankly unavoidable. Think about Oedipus, who spends his life trying to avoid a prophecy and ends up fulfilling it anyway. There's a calm inevitability to it, a quiet acceptance of human limitations that almost feels like a gentle sigh from history. And yet there is humor here too, not loud slapstick humor, but subtle, ironic touches. Consider the gods again. They argue, cheat, intervene, and then sit back, watching humans muddle along. Mortals make
kings, tyrants, and the art of looking important. Welcome back, everyone. If you're still lying in bed, eyes half closed, maybe sipping a warm drink, you're in the perfect state to float deeper into ancient Greece. Tonight, we wander into the lives of kings and tyrants, those men who wore crowns or laurel wreaths and thought power was best demonstrated through dramatic gestures, elaborate feasts, and, occasionally, bad haircuts. Let's move slowly, because the past doesn't hurry, and neither should we. Our first stop is King Agamemnon of Mycenae, famous mostly for leading the Greeks in the Trojan War. Agamemnon is that classic example of someone whose life sounds impressive on paper, but was, in practice, slightly tragic. He ruled Mycenae, a city filled with impressive walls, lots of gold, and a general air of overcomplicated palace intrigue. Agamemnon's main problem? Family drama. His wife, Clytemnestra, didn't exactly adore him, and eventually she, along with her lover, Aegisthus, arranged a rather permanent solution to their marital grievances. Agamemnon, it seems, underestimated the emotional intensity of a scorned spouse. This tale is endlessly retold in myths and plays, always with the same gentle, inevitable conclusion. Power doesn't protect you from human feelings, or knives, apparently.
Divine quarrels, love affairs, and mildly terrifying gods. Welcome back, friends. If you're still cozy under blankets or leaning against a pillow, we are in exactly the right place. Tonight, we drift deeper into the divine side of ancient Greece, a world where immortals meddled in mortal affairs, flirted, quarreled, and generally acted as if the universe revolved around their whims, which, of course, it kind of did. Relax. Let the stories wash over you slowly, like gentle waves lapping on a quiet Aegean shore. Let's begin with Hera, queen of the gods. Known for her regal demeanor and occasional bursts of terrifying anger, Hera is often remembered for her jealousy. Now, jealousy among mortals is messy enough. Among gods, it becomes a patient, slow-burning, sometimes absurd series of plots. Her husband, Zeus, had a habit of wandering into affairs, and Hera, in her own divine fashion, often responded with cunning rather than brute force. She might curse a mortal lover of Zeus or complicate the life of a child. Subtle, long-term revenge. Imagine waiting centuries for the perfect moment to act. That's Hera. A queen, a planner, a goddess of marriage who clearly understood that slow, deliberate annoyance is the most satisfying. Then there's Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty, who thrives on charm, manipulation, and occasional unintentional chaos. Her influence over gods and mortals alike could start small, a glance here, a sigh there, and escalate into full-blown romantic complications. Heroes fall in love at the wrong moment, kings abandon reason for passion, and sometimes gods simply shake their immortal heads and sip ambrosia while observing the turmoil. Aphrodite's world is elegant, chaotic, and perfectly suited to slow storytelling. It's almost comforting to know that even divinity involves awkward entanglements and dramatic sighs. We cannot drift past Apollo, the sun god, without noting his variety of minor eccentricities. Apollo is associated with music, prophecy, and a rather extreme sense of pride. He plays his lyre exquisitely, which is pleasant for humans, but can also be a subtle reminder he's brilliant, flawless, and likes to remind mortals of it. He occasionally punishes humans for minor infractions, like hubris or failing to appreciate poetry, but does so in a quiet, morally suggestive way rather than a spectacularly loud fashion. Imagine being corrected by someone who radiates literal sunlight, gentle, warm, and yet slightly intimidating. That is Apollo's presence in myth. Artemis, his twin, offers another layer of calm chaos. She's goddess of the hunt, the wilderness, and modesty, though in Greek terms, modesty sometimes involves dramatic threats to anyone who annoys her. Artemis's world is quiet, isolated, and sometimes stern. She protects animals, punishes disrespectful hunters, and occasionally frustrates gods who underestimate her independence. Her stories are slow-moving, layered with subtle lessons about boundaries and self-sufficiency, perfect for drifting thoughts during a quiet evening. Of course, a slow night in Greek myth would be incomplete without Dionysus, god of wine, revelry, and slightly irresponsible partying. Dionysus is charmingly chaotic. He introduces mortals to wine, which in Greek culture is both celebration and gentle moral warning. Festivals in his honor could last days, filled with dancing, music, and theatrical storytelling. Imagine lying back, picturing masked dancers swaying rhythmically under moonlight as townsfolk let go of daily worries. Dionysus is a reminder that sometimes indulgence, in moderation, is a lesson worth savoring slowly. And now, the darker, quieter corners of the divine world. Hades, keeper of the underworld, master of the dead, and generally unbothered by mortal concerns unless absolutely necessary. Hades rarely acts out in dramatic ways, but his subtle control over fate makes him quietly omnipotent. He enforces the inevitability of mortality without loud threats or spectacular punishment. It's a slow, meditative power. Life ends, death comes, and he oversees it all calmly. Imagine drifting through stories of Hades and thinking, Here is someone in total control who doesn't feel the need to brag about it. It's oddly comforting in its quiet inevitability. We should also linger on the minor gods, those who influence daily life in subtler ways. Nike, goddess of victory, quietly tips outcomes in favor of mortals and warriors who deserve it. Thanatos, the personification of death, performs his duty without fanfare. Even the Muses, 9 sisters who inspire arts and sciences, work steadily, gently encouraging creativity without demanding chaos. These figures provide a soft backdrop to the louder, more dramatic personalities, reminding us that not every story needs fireworks. Some simply float along, unnoticed but essential. Of course, humans were never far from divine meddling. Mortals often became pawns, lovers, or accidental heroes in the gods' whims. For example, Arachne, a mortal who dared to challenge Athena in weaving. Hubris, in Greek terms, often leads to gentle but permanent lessons. Arachne's transformation into a spider is a story told slowly, a quiet moral lesson about pride, skill, and consequences. Not gruesome, just inevitable. Stories like these float along in the mythic consciousness like leaves on a gentle river. And then there's the loves and quarrels between gods themselves, which, in retrospect, feel oddly domestic. Zeus and Hera argued for centuries. Apollo and Artemis, while cooperative, had their moments of sibling disagreement. Dionysus occasionally clashed with other gods over indulgence and morality. Even gods that seem perfect on the surface, Athena, for example, navigate subtle conflicts and strategic decisions that ripple through mortal and immortal realms alike. These stories are not loud or fast. They move slowly, illustrating the intricacies of divine personalities. Let's drift briefly into mythical families, which are endlessly fascinating. Gods have children who often inherit not only divine abilities, but also quirks, foibles, and occasional curses. Heracles, for instance, is a demigod with incredible strength and an unfortunate tendency to anger, perhaps inherited from his father Zeus's capriciousness. Perseus, another demigod, navigates life under similar divine pressure, accomplishing heroic feats, encountering monstrous beasts, and generally keeping the universe slightly more interesting. Their stories unfold over long stretches of mythic time, ideal for slow absorption. Even the most minor myths contain small, almost soothing rhythms. The story of Niobe, who boasts about her children and faces quiet divine retribution, unfolds with calm inevitability. Leto, mother of Apollo and Artemis, suffers for years before receiving her due respect. The myths are often tragic in a slow, measured way, perfect for a bedtime narrative because nothing leaps out suddenly. It simply drifts toward resolution at its own unhurried pace. And while gods engage in love affairs, petty rivalries, and occasional punishments, humans are consistently involved in ways that highlight their vulnerability and resilience. Heroes like Theseus navigate labyrinths, monsters, and political intrigue, often aided or hindered by gods. These stories emphasize gentle moral lessons, caution, cleverness, courage, and humility. Nothing rushes. Everything unfolds as a series of carefully measured events, ideal for the drifting mind. And finally, we arrive at the softer, almost meditative elements of myth, the cycles of nature, divine festivals, and quiet observation. The Greeks paid attention to seasons, harvests, and rituals with calm attentiveness. Festivals honored gods, brought communities together, and offered a structured, predictable rhythm. Imagine lying under a night sky, picturing torchlight flickering on a marble temple, priests chanting, and townsfolk offering thanks. The world is vast, complex, and gentle in its measured chaos, a perfect setting to let sleep take over. So tonight, we leave the gods in their slow, deliberate, occasional chaotic world. Their dramas, love affairs, and subtle lessons drift in time, unhurried, offering reflection and quiet intrigue.
Heroes, monsters, and mildly chaotic fate. Welcome back, friends. If you're still cozy under blankets or gently sinking into your pillows, you're in the perfect state to explore the quieter, slower-moving adventures of Greek heroes. Tonight, we meander into a world where humans face monsters, labyrinths, and fate itself, with subtle humor, gentle irony, and just enough tension to keep the imagination softly engaged. Let's begin with Theseus, an Athenian hero known for navigating labyrinths and confronting monsters with calm cleverness rather than loud heroics. Theseus's most famous adventure, of course, is his encounter with the Minotaur, a half-man, half-bull creature residing in a labyrinth designed by a king who probably had too much free time. The Minotaur is not as terrifying as one might expect, at least not in the softly hypnotic, bedtime-friendly version. Theseus volunteers, or is volunteered, for a dangerous task, enters the labyrinth, and eventually uses intelligence, guidance, and a ball of string to navigate his way through. The story is slow, deliberate, and oddly reassuring. Challenges, no matter how convoluted, can be overcome with patience and calm planning. Meanwhile, the Minotaur itself is less a dramatic villain and more a symbol of the consequences of royal eccentricity. King Minos's labyrinth is both architectural marvel and inconvenient prison. The Minotaur, trapped and angry, embodies quiet misfortune rather than dramatic malevolence. It's a reminder, gently presented, that human and divine decisions often have unforeseen, mildly inconvenient outcomes. Floating over to Perseus, we encounter a hero whose adventures are equally measured. Perseus is tasked with slaying Medusa, a gorgon whose gaze turns mortals to stone. The myth unfolds like a slow, suspenseful journey. Perseus receives gifts from the gods, a reflective shield, a sword, winged sandals, and uses careful strategy rather than brute force. He avoids direct confrontation, relying on observation, reflection, and clever thinking. The narrative pace is calm, almost meditative. See, plan, act, succeed. And while Medusa is tragic in her own right, her story unfolds without sudden terror, allowing listeners to appreciate the intricacy of Greek storytelling. Heroes like Perseus and Theseus are rarely solitary. They encounter helpers, mentors, and occasionally gods offering subtle guidance. Athena's advice, Hermes' gifts, or local divinities' interventions often appear in the narrative without dramatic flourish, creating a soft, layered texture of support and consequence. It's not heroic in the flashy modern sense. It's heroic in a quiet, measured way, emphasizing patience, wisdom, and the gentle unfolding of events. Meanwhile, Jason and the Argonauts take their time on a slow, deliberate journey across seas, encountering challenges and monsters that test their wit and resolve. The golden fleece, their ultimate prize, symbolizes both reward and consequence. The fleece is valuable, yes,
but the journey is long, complicated, and filled with obstacles. Heroes, gods, and mortals all play their parts in subtle, often ironic ways. Medea's involvement adds a quietly unsettling complexity. Her assistance is invaluable, her intellect undeniable, and her sense of justice, well, let's just say it's measured and final. The story unfolds slowly, with cause and effect carefully layered, ideal for a sleepy mind to follow without startling excitement. We should also meander through the quieter monster stories. The Hydra, a multi-headed serpent defeated by Heracles, is fascinating not because it strikes fear, but because it embodies slow, incremental challenge. Every time a head is cut off, two more appear, a problem requiring patience, strategy, and endurance. Heracles' methodical approach, often aided by clever assistants, turns a seemingly overwhelming task into a gradual triumph. It's almost soothing. The monster is formidable, yet manageable with calm persistence. And then there's Scylla and Charybdis, a pair of sea dangers that illustrate subtle tension rather than dramatic action. Navigating between them requires careful attention, skill, and patience. Odysseus encounters these perils in his long voyage home, moving slowly, thoughtfully, and with the understanding that haste often leads to disaster. The stories are rhythmic, repetitive, and gently suspenseful, offering a meditative pacing perfect for the bedtime imagination. Even the Trojan War unfolds with a kind of slow inevitability in myth. The decade-long conflict is less about explosions and more about character, decision-making, and consequence. Achilles' wrath, Hector's nobility, and Helen's fateful beauty combine to create a tapestry of events that feel inevitable, almost like observing the slow motion of history. Battles, strategies, and sieges are presented calmly, emphasizing choices, mistakes, and irony rather than gore or shock. It's the subtle tension of human ambition, fate, and pride played out at an unhurried pace. Greek myths often blend humor into tragedy. Consider Odysseus's cleverness, for example. Tricking the Cyclops Polyphemus involves observation, wit, and timing. The humor isn't loud, it's ironic. The Cyclops, mighty and imposing, is outwitted not by force, but by patience and a cleverly disguised plan. Odysseus's journey home is a string of such episodes, blending mild tension with thoughtful strategy. The reader or listener can drift along with a sense of calm appreciation for cleverness, avoiding startling drama. And then there are stories of quiet tragedy, like Niobe, who loses her children to divine punishment, or Icarus, whose flight too close to the sun is both a cautionary tale and a poetic observation. The narratives unfold slowly, emphasizing inevitability, cause and effect, and the subtle beauty of myth. There is sadness, certainly, but it is not abrupt. It is gentle, reflective, and almost meditative, perfect for letting the mind wander while lying in comfort. Heroes, monsters, gods, and mortals all interact in ways that emphasize a kind of rhythm. Decisions have consequences, actions have results, and lessons unfold with careful pacing. Greek myths are remarkable in their ability to blend calm, philosophical reflection with subtle drama and irony. Nothing rushes, everything drifts. A battle may take years, a journey decades, and a curse centuries. And yet, each story is complete, satisfying, and gentle in its unfolding. Before we drift to the next segment, it's worth noting that the geography of Greece itself contributes to the meditative quality of these myths. Mountains, seas, islands, and cities all shape the pace of travel, battle, and adventure. Journeys are slow, often arduous, but also rhythmic, crossing a sea, climbing a mountain, entering a labyrinth. The land itself enforces patience, reflection, and observation. It's a subtle, almost hypnotic backdrop for human and divine interaction. As we close this part, think of Greek myths as a soft, winding river. Heroes drift along, sometimes struggling against currents, sometimes guided by unseen hands. Monsters appear as obstacles to be navigated, rather than sudden threats. Gods intervene.
Daily life, festivals, and the gentle rhythm of Greece.
Welcome back, everyone. If you're still nestled in blankets or leaning into a pillow, tonight's part is perfect for you. We are slowing down, leaving the heroic adventures and divine dramas behind for a while, and observing the quieter, more rhythmic aspects of ancient Greek life. This is a world of festivals, art, philosophy, and small human joys and struggles, all unfolding gently under the shadow of gods who watch, intervene, or simply observe. Let's begin with the daily life of ordinary Greeks. Most people lived in modest homes, simple, practical, yet often beautifully arranged around courtyards. Families cooked over small hearths, tended olive groves, and carefully stored oil, wine, and grain. Life had a rhythm dictated by seasons, agricultural cycles, and the occasional festival. Children learned household duties early, often while absorbing stories of gods and heroes. Education was sometimes formal, sometimes informal, but always present. Girls learned weaving, cooking, and domestic management. Boys might learn reading, philosophy, or even basic combat. It was slow, structured, and measured, like a gentle choreography of survival, culture, and social expectation. Speaking of weaving, Greek women often spent quiet hours producing textiles, beautifully patterned cloth, decorative garments, and sometimes ceremonial tapestries. Weaving wasn't just practical, it was also a storytelling medium. A woven scene could depict mythological events, heroic adventures, or daily activities, allowing imagination to drift while fingers worked steadily. Imagine sitting in a cool courtyard, sunlight spilling across patterned cloth, quietly listening to stories woven into thread. It's soothing, repetitive, and meditative. Meanwhile, men engaged in public life, which blended work, politics, philosophy, and social interaction. The agora, a central marketplace, was a gentle hub of commerce and conversation. Merchants displayed goods, citizens discussed politics, and philosophers wandered through, quietly debating ethics, logic, or the nature of the cosmos. Conversations were often calm, slow, and measured, reflecting a society that valued reasoned observation over impulsive action. Even minor disputes were settled with discussion, votes, or ritualized negotiation. The pace was deliberate, perfect for a listener letting their mind wander along the sunlit streets of Athens. Festivals provided an essential rhythm to Greek life, marking religious, seasonal, and civic occasions. In Athens, the Panathenæa celebrated Athena, goddess of wisdom, with processions, sacrifices, poetry, and athletic contests. Crowds moved slowly through the city, chanting, singing, and offering gifts. Meanwhile, Dionysian festivals allowed for music, theater, and ritual revelry, encouraging participants to let go of daily concerns in a controlled and rhythmic environment. Festivals were communal, soothing, and subtly instructive. They reminded citizens of their place in society, the gods' influence, and the gentle inevitability of seasonal cycles. Art and architecture were equally mesmerizing in their slow beauty. Temples rose gradually over decades, designed with precise proportions and mathematical harmony. Marble statues captured the human form in idealized, graceful detail. Painters decorated pottery with scenes that combined myth, morality, and humor. Everything, the tilt of a head, the curve of a shoulder, the pattern of drapery, invites slow observation, a kind of meditative attention that is surprisingly hypnotic when described softly. Imagine tracing the lines of a frieze with your mind, noting the subtle storytelling in each gesture. Even philosophy contributed to this calm rhythm. Think of Socrates strolling the streets of Athens, asking gentle but persistent questions, provoking thought without urgency. His method was not violent or rushed. It was conversational, almost hypnotic in its patience. Plato later documented these dialogues, creating works that could be read aloud slowly, line by line, allowing ideas to settle and drift through the mind. Aristotle, similarly, wrote methodically, observing nature, ethics, politics, and logic. His classifications and theories unfold at a deliberate pace, emphasizing reflection over excitement. And while much of Greek life was measured, there were moments of personal drama and irony. Marriages were arranged, social hierarchies enforced, and civic responsibilities could feel heavy. Yet humans found gentle amusement and satisfaction in creativity, storytelling, and small daily pleasures. Children played quietly, families celebrated modest milestones, and artisans took pride in their slow, careful work. Even ordinary disputes over land, trade, or honor were often navigated with patience, ritual, and observation rather than sudden violence. Greek religion permeated daily life, but in subtle, rhythmical ways. Minor gods, household deities, and local spirits were quietly honored. Shrines might be small and private, candles flickering in calm devotion. Offerings, bread, wine, or small figurines were made with gentle attention, more as acknowledgement than urgent petition. The gods, having already demonstrated capriciousness in myths, were observed with quiet respect. Their presence shaped life like a gentle background hum, offering narrative structure and moral reflection without dramatic interference. And even meals were part of this slow ritual. Greeks dined simply but thoughtfully, often reclining at small tables during the evening. Food was shared with family or guests, conversation flowed leisurely, and wine was sipped thoughtfully, diluted with water, as was customary. The act of eating became a social, reflective, and rhythmic part of life, offering a pause in the ongoing flow of work, civic duty, or ritual observance. And yet there was humor and irony in daily life just as in myths. Citizens would quietly observe absurdities in political debates, minor misadventures in trade, or the eccentricities of wealthy elites. Stories of small scandals, local gossip, or minor divine meddling were recounted with calm amusement rather than alarm. It's the same gentle irony that appears in Homeric epics, subtly reminding listeners that life is often a combination of effort, error, and unexpected consequence. As the day faded into evening, the rhythms of life slowed further. Lamps flickered, Conversation softened, children rested, and the faint sounds of distant festivals or temple ceremonies drifted through streets and courtyards. Mortals reflected on their work, their families, and the ever-present influence of gods, heroes, and history. There was a gentle, hypnotic quality to this observation, a sense of continuity, patience, and quiet engagement with life's mysteries. And so tonight, we leave ordinary Greeks in their measured world, tending gardens, weaving cloth, debating philosophy, and participating in festivals. Life is structured, reflective, and intertwined with subtle divine influence. Heroes and gods linger in memory, offering guidance, humor, and gentle irony. The rhythm of daily existence, paired with seasonal, civic, and religious observances, creates a calm, hypnotic tableau, perfect for quiet contemplation and the slow drift toward sleep. In the next part, we will explore Greek literature, theater, and storytelling, where tragedy, comedy, and subtle moral lessons are delivered at a gentle, meditative pace. The stories will blend human experience, divine influence, and artistic expression, keeping our slow, sleepy journey through ancient Greece continuous and immersive.
Theater, literature, and the gentle art of Greek storytelling. Welcome back, friends. If you're still leaning into a pillow or wrapped in blankets, tonight's segment's perfect. We leave the streets, courtyards, and temples behind for a world of stories, where voices rise and fall, masks conceal and reveal, and human and divine dramas unfold with a slow, rhythmic grace.
philosophy, science, and the gentle wonder of the world. Welcome back, friends. If you're still nestled in blankets, dimming the lights, or resting your head on a pillow, this part is perfect. Tonight, we leave theater and literature behind to wander through the quietly contemplative world of Greek philosophy and science, a world where thinking slowly, observing carefully, and questioning gently are not just encouraged, but central to life itself. Let's begin with the pre-Socratics, early thinkers who gazed at nature and wondered quietly about the world. Thales thought the world might be made of water. Anaximander speculated about infinite beginnings and the origin of life. Heraclitus noted that everything flows. These ideas were not rushed. They were slow, contemplative, almost like gentle experiments in thought. Picture a thinker staring across the Aegean Sea at sunrise, wondering if the river is the same as the water it carries. Each observation is deliberate, each question softly pondered. Meanwhile, Pythagoras and his followers explored numbers, harmony, and proportion, not with loud fanfare, but with calm dedication. Music, mathematics, and cosmic patterns were seen as interconnected. A string plucked at a certain tension might reveal something about the structure of the universe. It's almost hypnotic to imagine students quietly adjusting lengths, counting ratios, and discovering subtle truths about sound and form. Knowledge here unfolds slowly, patiently, with gentle elegance. Socrates furthered this rhythm of calm inquiry, wandering the streets of Athens, asking questions, and gently unsettling assumptions. His method was slow, conversational, and reflective. He rarely provided answers outright. Instead, he nudged others to think, pause, and observe. Arguments unfolded gradually. Insights emerged incrementally, and reflection became a kind of slow meditation. Socratic questioning is hypnotic in its pace. Listen, consider, reply, reflect, repeat. Plato took Socratic methods and crystallized them into structured thought. In the Republic, the discussion of justice, society, and ideal governance unfolds with measured precision. Ideas are layered slowly, each concept building on the last. There is drama, yes, but it is quiet, intellectual, and deliberate. The narrative guides the listener gently through abstract thought, encouraging a reflective, patient mind. Aristotle, in contrast, observed the natural world with careful attention to detail. His studies of plants, animals, physics, and ethics are methodical and structured. He categorized, described, and reflected, not for spectacle, but for understanding. Watching Aristotle's world unfold is like watching sunlight creep across a marble column, slow, deliberate, and quietly enlightening. He reminds us that careful observation, repetition, and reflection reveal patterns in life, nature, and human behavior. Even Hippocrates, father of medicine, contributes to this gentle exploration of the world. He observed bodies, illness, and treatment with patience and precision. His approach is methodical, calm, and measured. Record symptoms, watch patterns, apply remedies thoughtfully. There is no rush, no dramatic spectacle. Illness and healing are observed as part of the natural rhythm of life, perfectly aligned with the slow meditative pace of our narrative. The Greeks also looked to astronomy and cosmology with quiet curiosity. Eudoxus and Hipparchus charted stars, phases of the moon, and movements of planets. Observing the heavens was a slow, meticulous activity, noting positions, timing movements, and finding patterns. The night sky becomes a calm backdrop for contemplation. Stars, planets, and celestial cycles drift across the sky at their own rhythm, perfectly aligned with the hypnotic pace of Greek inquiry. Science, philosophy, and natural observation were also subtly humorous in a quiet, ironic way. The Greeks sometimes argued endlessly over the nature of elements, the movement of planets, or the best form of government. Debates could be prolonged, pedantic, and sometimes contradictory. Yet this contradiction is part of the charm. It is a reminder that curiosity, patience, and measured discussion are often more valuable than rushing to conclusions. The gentle irony of human persistence, endlessly questioning and sometimes arguing with itself, is quietly comforting in retrospect. Meanwhile, ethics and human behavior were central to reflection. Stoics like Zeno of Citium taught calm acceptance, patience, and attention to the natural order. Epicureans emphasized measured pleasure and avoidance of unnecessary pain. Cynics preferred simplicity and often irritated their fellow citizens by pointing out the absurdity of social conventions. These philosophies were not loud or violent. They were meditative guides to living well, emphasizing the quiet rhythms of life and observation. Greek thinkers also valued visual and poetic reflection on nature. Poets described rivers, mountains, and oceans with attention to detail and subtle beauty. Artists carved marble to capture the grace of humans and animals. Observing these works slowly allows the mind to wander gently, noticing curves, proportions, gestures, and expressions. Everything is connected: nature, observation, art, and thought, creating a seamless tapestry for meditation and reflection. Finally, it's worth noting the interplay between philosophy, science, and myth. Greeks did not see these as separate domains. Gods influenced the world, humans acted, and thinkers reflected on patterns. Philosophical inquiry could coexist with mythic storytelling. Observing the stars, measuring water, reflecting on morality, and listening to a story about Zeus or Athena were all part of the same gentle rhythm of life. It is a universe where curiosity is patient, observation is deliberate, and learning unfolds slowly, perfectly aligned with our quiet bedtime journey. As we drift toward the close of this part, imagine sitting under an olive tree at dusk. The sky shifts from gold to deep indigo. Philosophers murmur in the distance. Students record observations. Poets recite gentle lines, and the wind carries faintly the songs of distant festivals. Nature, thought, and human action move at a steady, calming pace. There is rhythm, order, and gentle humor in human persistence. The world of Greek philosophy and science, like the myths and stories we've explored, is ideally suited for a listener ready to relax and let their mind wander. In the next part, we will explore Greek art, architecture, and the subtle interplay of human creativity with divine inspiration, continuing our gentle, hypnotic exploration of ancient Greece, perfectly paced for a slow evening of reflection. Art, architecture, and the quiet brilliance of Greece. Welcome back, friends. If you're still leaning into a pillow or wrapped in a soft blanket, this part is perfect for a slow journey through the aesthetic world of ancient Greece. Tonight we explore temples, statues, pottery, and all the subtle ways Greeks expressed their connection to gods, heroes, and nature. There are no sudden thrills here, only calm observation and appreciation. Let's begin with Greek temples, those majestic structures that combine function, beauty, and quiet symbolism. Temples were designed with careful proportions, mathematical precision, and subtle optical corrections. Columns swell slightly at the center. Steps rise with gentle curves, and facades align perfectly with human vision. Temples honored gods, yes, but they also revealed the Greeks' meditative attention to order, harmony, and aesthetics. Walking past a Parthenon or a temple of Apollo, even in imagination, is like drifting slowly through geometry, philosophy, and quiet devotion at once. Inside temples, statues awaited, carved from marble or cast in bronze, capturing humans and gods in idealized form. The smooth curve of a shoulder, the tilt of a head, the drapery of a robe, all demonstrate careful observation of human anatomy and the desire to reflect divine perfection. Artists work patiently for years, sometimes decades, creating figures that seemed frozen in calm motion. It is both a technical achievement and a meditative experience for anyone gazing at the forms. One can follow the lines, trace the details, and drift along with the quiet rhythm of human skill. Pottery offers another slow-moving story. Greeks decorated vases, craters, and amphorae with scenes from mythology, daily life, and ritual. Black figure and rid figure techniques allowed subtle expression, capturing movement, emotion, and narrative in a carefully measured space. Observing a vase depicting a heroic episode or a domestic scene is like peeking into a miniature theater. Events unfold, characters gesture, and even minor details carry meaning. The pace is unhurried, inviting contemplation rather than excitement. Let's pause for a moment to appreciate sculptural narrative. Reliefs on temple friezes and civic monuments often depict battles, festivals, or mythic events. Figures move with calm grace across stone, frozen in gestures that suggest motion without chaos. The stories are deliberate. Observe, reflect, notice patterns. Subtle humor or irony occasionally appears. Perhaps a minor god looks exasperated. A mortal hero seems mildly confused, but it is understated, enhancing the meditative quality. Architecture extended beyond temples. Public buildings, stoas, and theaters reflected both practical needs and aesthetic ideals. Theaters, for instance, were designed to amplify sound, control sight lines, and create a serene backdrop for dramatic and comedic performance. The gentle rise of seats, the careful spacing of columns, and the integration with natural landscapes demonstrate a profound awareness of rhythm, proportion, and human experience. Greek architects seem to whisper, walk slowly, look carefully, reflect. Public spaces like agoras combine function and beauty. Market stalls, statues, fountains, and shrines all existed in balance, creating environments that invited quiet observation, social interaction, and gentle reflection. Even mundane civic structures carried aesthetic intent. Columns, pediments, and reliefs offered subtle decoration, reminding citizens of their shared culture, divine presence, and civic pride. Greek art also emphasizes movement and story, even in still forms. Sculptures of athletes, gods, and dancers capture mid-motion, frozen in calm, rhythmic flow. The human form is idealized, yes, but carefully observed. Muscles, posture, and balance suggest life, energy, and quiet narrative. A statue of a discus thrower does not shout its action. It whispers it, allowing the mind to follow each potential movement slowly and meditatively. Mosaics and wall paintings, though less well preserved, also reveal a gentle approach to storytelling. Everyday life, Myth and ritual are depicted with rhythmic repetition, careful composition, and subtle color palettes. Observing these, one notices patterns, gestures, groupings, and spatial organization that guide the eye slowly across the scene. It is like a visual meditation. Follow the lines, absorb the story, drift along with the artist's calm intention. Even Greek ornamentation and minor decorative arts carry the same hypnotic quality. Jewelry, small votive figures, and engraved gems combine technical skill, careful observation, and aesthetic balance. Tiny details, the curve of a finger, the pattern of leaves, the tilt of a head, reward slow attention. It is a quiet pleasure, a reminder that artistry is as much about patience and observation as inspiration. Finally, it's worth noting the relationship between art and the divine. Many works honor gods, heroes, and myths, but they do so with subtlety rather than spectacle. A temple frieze depicting a battle may show calm determination more than chaos. A statue of Athena exudes composed wisdom rather than violent authority. Divine inspiration is present but understated, reinforcing a sense of rhythm, order, and gentle reflection. As we leave this part of our journey, imagine walking through Athens or Delphi, softly observing temples, sculptures, pottery, and mosaics. Each line, curve, and pattern invites slow attention, subtle reflection, and gentle amusement. Gods linger in the stories, heroes in the gestures, and humans in every careful, patient creation. The art and architecture of Greece remind us that creativity, skill, and observation can be quiet, steady, and deeply hypnotic, perfect for evening contemplation and the slow drift towards sleep. In the next part, we will explore Greek religion, ritual, and the subtle integration of divine presence in everyday life, continuing our slow, sleep-inducing exploration of ancient Greece.
Religion, ritual, and the gentle presence of the divine. Welcome back, friends. If you're still leaning into your pillow, tucked under a blanket, or gently rocking in a chair, tonight's segment is perfect. We move from art and architecture to the softer, quieter pulse of Greek religion, rituals, offerings, festivals, and the ever-present, often quietly meddlesome gods. This is not dramatic spectacle. This is subtle devotion, calm observation, and the gentle rhythm of human life under divine gaze. Let's begin with daily household rituals. Most Greek homes had small shrines called luraria, or simple altars dedicated to the gods, spirits, and ancestors. Families offered bread, wine, or small figurines to honor deities like Hestia, goddess of the hearth. It was a quiet, structured activity. Light a lamp, make a small offering, whisper a prayer. There were no grand ceremonies here, just calm acknowledgement of divine presence in the small, steady pulse of domestic life. It is the kind of ritual that invites slow reflection. The flame flickers, shadows dance on the walls, and one can imagine gods watching quietly, perhaps with mild amusement. Festivals and civic rituals expanded this rhythm to the larger community. Celebrations like the Panathenea, Dionysia, or Olympic Games combined devotion with performance, sport, and social gathering. These events were long, deliberate, and structured, creating a sense of continuity and calm. Processions moved at a measured pace. Sacrifices were performed with careful attention. Competitions followed precise rules. Observing such events, even in imagination, is like following a slow river of human and divine interaction. Nothing is rushed, Everything flows with gentle inevitability. Greek religion was also deeply entwined with myth. Rituals often reenacted legendary stories. A sacrifice might honor a hero, a festival might commemorate a god's act, or a song might retell an epic. These practices reinforced cultural memory and moral lessons, allowing mortals to participate in divine narratives. It is a quiet but powerful form of storytelling, creating a rhythm that blends human action and divine influence in a hypnotic, almost meditative way. Priests and priestesses played a subtle role in guiding rituals. Their actions were precise, offering libations, leading chants, and organizing festivals. They did not shout or dramatize. They observed, directed, and maintained order. Their calm, deliberate behavior reminds participants that religion is a slow, reflective practice rather than a source of sudden excitement. Even the occasional prophecy or oracle, like those at Delphi, unfolds gradually. Words are spoken, interpreted, and pondered, never rushed, always measured. There is subtle humor here, too, as the gods sometimes communicate indirectly, leaving mortals to puzzle out meaning over days, weeks, or years. Finally, the overarching rhythm of Greek religious life emphasizes integration, observation, and reflection. Daily rituals, festivals, sacrifices, and oracles all combine to create a gentle, unhurried awareness of human existence within a divine framework. Gods are present, but their presence is quiet, structured, and often ironic. Mortals participate in ceremonies, reflect on myths, and navigate life with mindfulness. The result is a calm, meditative, and deeply hypnotic pattern of experience, perfectly suited for listening, imagining, and eventually drifting into sleep. As we close this part, picture a quiet evening in Athens. Lamps flicker in households, priests complete evening rituals, distant music and chants drift from temples, and the night sky stretches endlessly above. Humans move slowly, gods linger subtly, and the rhythm of life continues, gentle, measured, and hypnotically consistent. It is a world where observation, devotion, and reflection interweave seamlessly, inviting the mind to relax, drift, and absorb the quiet patterns of existence. In the next part, we will explore Greek science, medicine, and observation of nature, moving from ritual to slow, careful inquiry, blending intellectual curiosity with the calm, reflective pace that defines the lost world of ancient Greece.
Science, medicine, and the gentle observation of nature. Welcome back, friends. If you're still resting under a soft blanket or letting your head sink into a pillow, tonight's segment is perfect. We leave behind temples, festivals, and art to quietly observe the Greeks' approach to the natural world. Here, inquiry is patient, medicine is thoughtful, and discovery unfolds at a calm, deliberate pace. Nothing is rushed. Everything invites reflection. Let's begin with Hippocrates, often called the father of medicine. Hippocrates and his followers approached illness with careful observation rather than dramatic interventions. They recorded symptoms, noted patterns, and experimented with gentle remedies. The famous Hippocratic Oath emphasizes ethics, care, and observation. No sudden heroics, no dramatic cures, only patient attention. Imagine a physician quietly examining a patient's pulse, noting color, temperature, and behavior, all in a measured, deliberate rhythm. The process is hypnotic, soothing, and reflective, a careful dance between human skill and natural phenomena. Greek medicine extended beyond humans to plants, herbs, and natural remedies. Physicians observed the properties of local flora, experimenting slowly with treatments for ailments ranging from fever to digestive issues. They relied on empirical observation: what worked, what didn't, and what caused subtle effects over time. There was no rush, no dramatic spectacle, just patient attention to the patterns of cause and effect in the natural world. Meanwhile, Greek scientists and philosophers like Aristotle, Theophrastus, and Archimedes studied nature with gentle precision. Aristotle classified animals, noting behavior, reproduction, and physical traits. Theophrastus cataloged plants with painstaking detail. Archimedes explored mechanics and motion, carefully observing the effects of levers, pulleys, and buoyancy. Each discovery is presented not as sudden revelation, but as a slow accumulation of observation, thought, and careful experimentation. It's the kind of pace that encourages reflection, meditation, and gentle fascination. The Greeks were also curious about astronomy and the cosmos. Hipparchus measured stars, tracked planetary motion, and calculated eclipses. They observed the heavens with patience, noting celestial rhythms over years and decades. The slow passage of stars across the night sky, the measured orbit of planets, and the phases of the moon offered quiet, hypnotic patterns. Greek astronomers recorded these patterns with calm precision, blending observation, mathematics, and philosophical reflection. Even engineering and invention unfolded with deliberate patience. Aqueducts, levers, cranes, and water clocks were created through careful observation and slow experimentation. Inventions were functional and elegant, reflecting the Greeks' fascination with harmony, proportion, and gentle problem-solving. There is a subtle humor in their methods too. Imagine an engineer testing a pulley for months, adjusting weights and angles, quietly muttering about human impatience while slowly perfecting the mechanism. The Greek observation of nature extended to philosophy. Thinkers pondered life, death, motion, and cause. Democritus speculated about atoms. Empedocles considered the elements and cosmic forces. Their curiosity was calm, reflective, and continuous, emphasizing careful reasoning rather than dramatic revelation. Observation was itself a form of meditation, watching, thinking, noting, and letting patterns emerge slowly over time. Medicine, science, and philosophy often intertwined. A physician might observe the behavior of plants, animals, or humans, and use that knowledge to inform treatment or prediction. Natural philosophers might examine anatomy, motion, or celestial phenomena, drawing subtle connections between all things. The pace was patient, deliberate, and hypnotically reflective, perfect for anyone listening in a quiet room, letting these patterns drift slowly through the mind. Even the humor of observation appears occasionally. The Greeks sometimes argued endlessly over small distinctions. What defines a plant? How many elements exist? Is a dolphin a fish or something else entirely? These debates, though tedious to modern ears, reveal a playful engagement with the world, persistent curiosity, gentle irony, and slow accumulation of knowledge. It is the kind of intellectual patience that lulls the mind, inviting calm thought and gentle reflection. Greek medicine also emphasized balance, moderation, and observation of lifestyle.
Diet, exercise, and mental health were considered just as important as remedies for illness. Life was a slow, deliberate experiment in harmony. Eat carefully, move deliberately, think thoughtfully, rest sufficiently, and observe outcomes. There is a quiet poetry in this approach, a rhythmic attention to life itself. Finally, it's worth noting the integration of human experience and natural philosophy. Science, medicine, and observation were not isolated. They were part of a broader cultural rhythm. Festivals, art, philosophy, theater, and religion all contributed to a slow, reflective engagement with the world. Knowledge was cumulative, subtle, and gently reinforced by experience, ritual, and observation. As we close this part, imagine a quiet afternoon in a Greek garden. A physician notes the growth of herbs. A student measures the flow of water. A philosopher sketches stars in the evening sky. All is calm, deliberate, and reflective. Human curiosity meets divine inspiration. Observation blends with careful reasoning, and patterns of life and nature emerge slowly. It is a perfect environment for quiet thought, gentle reflection, and the gradual drift towards sleep. In the next part, we will explore Greek sports, athletics, and the calm rituals of competition, moving from observation to measured physical expression, while maintaining the gentle, hypnotic tone that defines the lost world of ancient Greece.
Sports, athletics, and the gentle rhythm of competition. Welcome back, friends. If you're still leaning into a pillow, wrapped in a blanket, or resting quietly in your chair, tonight's segment is perfect. We step away from temples, art, and philosophy to wander through the slowly unfolding world of Greek sports and athletics, a world where physical activity was deliberate, ritualized, and deeply intertwined with culture and devotion. Let's begin with the Olympic Games, the most famous of Greek sporting festivals. Held every 4 years at Olympia, these events were more than competition. They were a slow, carefully orchestrated blend of athleticism, ritual, and social cohesion. Athletes from city-states across Greece would arrive weeks in advance, preparing their bodies, observing sacred customs, and participating in calm ceremonial processions. There was no rush. Every event, from foot races to wrestling, unfolded with measured timing and deliberate form. The training of athletes was itself a meditative practice. Young men trained for years under the supervision of coaches, perfecting posture, stride, and strength. Diet, exercise, and rest were carefully regulated. Imagine a runner pacing slowly around a track, repeating the same measured motions, observing breath and muscle, and feeling each movement as a rhythm. Even wrestling or pankration, the mixed combat sport, was practiced patiently with repeated drills and slow attention to technique. Competitions were accompanied by ritual and religious observance. Sacrifices were made to Zeus and other deities before and during the games. Victors offered thanks, often in quiet ceremonies, while the crowd watched with reverent attention. The rhythm of competition was thus inseparable from the rhythm of devotion. Running, throwing, and wrestling were as much spiritual exercises as physical tests. Other athletic festivals existed as well, such as the Pythian, Nemean, and Isthmian games. Each had its own customs, rituals, and pace, but all shared the same deliberate structure. Events were scheduled, competitors prepared, and the audience observed with patience. There was subtle excitement, yes, but nothing frantic.
Everything flowed with measured grace, allowing spectators and participants alike to absorb the ritual and the skill. Even victory itself was carefully contextualized. Winners were crowned with olive wreaths, praised for skill, and sometimes immortalized in statues or poems. Yet the emphasis was on honor, excellence, and ritual propriety, not on immediate fame or chaos. The slow recognition reinforced the rhythm of Greek life. Achievement was observed, reflected upon, and celebrated with measured care. Greek athletics also included daily practice and informal games. Youths engaged in foot races, discus, javelin, and wrestling in gymnasia and palastrae. Training was consistent and methodical. Warm-up, repetition, observation of form, and quiet reflection on improvement. These spaces were also social and educational, blending physical discipline with philosophical reflection. It is easy to imagine a gentle afternoon spent practicing throws or sprints, punctuated by conversation, laughter, and calm observation of technique. There was also an element of humor and human folly in Greek sports. Some athletes were overly confident, others awkward, and many failed spectacularly in ways that elicited gentle amusement rather than ridicule. Stories of clumsy javelin throws, misjudged wrestling holds, or exhausted runners tripping near the finish line circulated quietly, often retold with subtle irony. These moments remind us that competition, while serious, was also an opportunity for reflection, learning, and even quiet laughter. Sports were integrated with cultural and moral values. Training emphasized balance, moderation, and harmony between mind and body. Excellence, or arete, was pursued, but humility, respect, and observation were equally important. Greek athletics were not about reckless ambition or frenzied spectacle. They were about steady improvement, mindful performance, and participating in a shared cultural rhythm. Even the spectator experience was gentle and deliberate. Crowds did not roar continuously. They observed, noted skill and technique, and offered measured applause or approval. They might comment quietly on an athlete's posture, endurance, or cleverness, rather than shouting in uncontrolled excitement. It was a slow, reflective enjoyment, allowing the mind to absorb form, movement, and rhythm with calm fascination. Finally, Greek athletics were not limited to the body. They also engaged the mind and spirit. Gymnasia provided spaces for philosophical discussion, poetry recitation, and intellectual reflection alongside physical exercise. The rhythm of practice, competition, and observation was holistic. Body, mind, and spirit moved together in calm, coordinated flow. Athletes were not just performers, they were participants in a meditative cultural practice that intertwined skill, ritual, and reflection. As we close this part, picture a quiet Olympic stadium at dawn. Athletes stretch slowly, their muscles catching the first light. Coaches observe with gentle attention. Spectators settle quietly, and priests perform soft rituals to honor the gods. Each footstep, each throw, each gesture is measured, deliberate, and part of a larger rhythm. It is a world where competition and ritual coexist, where observation and practice blend, and where the gentle pulse of human and divine effort carries everything forward.
Daily life, domestic rhythms, and the gentle flow of Greek homes. Welcome back, friends. If you're still curled up in blankets or resting your head comfortably on a pillow, tonight's segment is perfect. We leave behind grand temples, athletic arenas, and philosophical gardens
to wander slowly through the quiet, measured rhythms of everyday life in ancient Greece. Here, the extraordinary blends seamlessly with the ordinary, and even mundane routines carry a hypnotic, reflective cadence. Let's begin with homes and domestic space. Greek houses were designed for both function and calm observation. Rooms were arranged to allow light and airflow. Courtyards offered private space, and small altars honored gods or ancestors. Kitchens were modest but efficient, with hearths for cooking, clay pots for storage, and tools carefully organized for daily tasks. Imagine a quiet morning. A woman stirs a pot of porridge, a child sweeps the courtyard, and a small flame flickers on the altar as incense smoke curls gently into the air. It is slow, deliberate, and quietly ritualized. Family life followed structured daily routines. Meals, education, chores, and social interaction all had their place. Men might spend part of the day in the agora or at philosophical discussions, while women managed household affairs, weaving cloth, preparing food, or tending gardens. Children learned through observation, imitation, and slow instruction. Every action is measured, intentional, and part of a larger rhythm of life. Meals themselves carried subtle ritual and reflection. Families gathered to eat, offering thanks to gods like Hestia or Demeter before partaking. Food was simple: grains, olives, vegetables, fish, and occasionally meat. Dining was unhurried, emphasizing moderation and shared conversation. Imagine the gentle clinking of pottery, the quiet murmur of family voices, and the soft flicker of oil lamps as dusk falls. Eating becomes an opportunity for calm reflection, social cohesion, and appreciation of small, steady comforts. Education and learning were woven into daily life. Boys from wealthier families studied reading, writing, poetry, philosophy, and music under the guidance of tutors. Learning was slow, repetitive, and carefully observed. Students copied texts, recited lines, and engaged in gentle debate. There were no frantic lessons or sudden tests, just patient accumulation of knowledge, ideally absorbed at the listener's pace. Girls, often educated at home, learned weaving, household management, and occasionally literacy or music. All learning emphasized rhythm, repetition, and reflection. Work and craft also followed measured rhythms. Artisans, potters, and builders spent long hours creating functional or artistic objects with precision and care. The potter's wheel turned steadily, the sculptor carved slowly, the weaver's loom clacks gently. Time passes almost imperceptibly, but the mind and hand remain engaged in a quiet, hypnotic dialogue. These tasks, repeated daily, connect the ordinary with skill, culture, and gentle artistry. Social visits and civic interaction were equally calm. Citizens might gather in public courtyards or the agora for conversation, observation, or debate. Discussion was measured. Ideas unfolded slowly, punctuated by reflection and polite commentary. Gossip, news, and philosophy coexisted in a rhythm that balanced social engagement with contemplative pause. Even disagreements were rarely dramatic. They were extended conversations where patience and observation mattered more than quick victory. Leisure and relaxation were also part of the daily rhythm. Greeks enjoyed music, poetry, storytelling, and quiet games. These activities were unhurried, meditative and socially connective. Playing a lyre, listening to a tale of heroes and gods, or quietly observing nature all reinforced the gentle patterns of life. The slow, rhythmic pleasure of art, performance, and story provided a perfect counterbalance to work and obligation. Religion continued to permeate domestic life. Small shrines, quiet prayers, and household offerings reminded inhabitants of divine presence. Every act, cooking, sweeping, or tending the garden, could carry subtle acknowledgement of gods, spirits, or ancestors. This integration of the sacred and the ordinary is quietly hypnotic. Life itself becomes a slow, reflective meditation, where even minor details are imbued with purpose and attention. Greek daily life also had its humor and irony, though understated. Family members teased gently, children stumbled awkwardly, and neighbors displayed small follies. These moments were observed with patience and mild amusement rather than dramatic laughter. Even the smallest social mishaps became part of the larger rhythm, offering subtle entertainment and reflection without disruption. Finally, domestic life emphasizes balance, order, and reflection. The Greeks valued harmony between work, study, leisure, and ritual. The pace of life was slow and deliberate, encouraging observation, mindfulness, and thoughtful engagement. Homes, courtyards, and neighborhoods functioned as spaces for calm interaction, skillful practice, and subtle learning. Every action was part of a larger pattern of daily existence, gently reinforced by ritual, habit, and observation. As we close this part, picture a quiet evening in a Greek home. Lamps flicker softly, bread and olives sit on a wooden table, children whisper stories to each other, and incense curls upward from a small altar. Outside, the sun has dipped below the horizon, and the air carries the faint murmur of distant voices and gentle movement. Life is steady, measured, and quiet, a perfect rhythm for reflection, calm observation, and the gentle drift toward sleep. In the next part, we will explore Greek festivals, social gatherings, and the slow, ritualized celebrations that punctuate the year, continuing our calm, hypnotic journey through the lost world of ancient Greece. Festivals, social gatherings, and the gentle pulse of celebration. Welcome back, friends. If you're still nestled under blankets, lying back with a pillow, or simply letting your eyes wander in the dim light, tonight's segment is perfect. We leave behind the rhythm of daily life to explore moments when the Greeks came together to celebrate, honor the gods, and enjoy the slow pulse of communal experience. Festivals, gatherings, and rituals were not frantic spectacles. They were measured, hypnotic, and subtly instructive, providing rhythm to the year and reflection to the mind. Let's begin with the Panathenaea, Athens' grandest festival, held in honor of Athena. The festival included processions, athletic competitions, musical contests, and ceremonial sacrifices. But it unfolded deliberately with careful pacing. Participants processed slowly through the city streets, carrying offerings, performing chants, and presenting woven robes to Athena's statue. Even the climax of the festival, the presentation of the peplos, a finely woven garment, was measured, ceremonial, and observed with quiet attention. It's a rhythmical display of civic pride, religious devotion, and artistic skill, all orchestrated at a meditative pace. Other festivals, like the Dionysia,
combine theater, ritual, and social interaction. Citizens gathered in open-air theaters to watch plays, tragedies and comedies alike, performed with calm precision. The rhythm of the performances, the measured speech of actors, and the reflective presence of the chorus created an almost hypnotic experience. These festivals allowed communities to celebrate, reflect, and enjoy storytelling without rush or excessive spectacle. Even smaller local festivals contributed to the year's gentle rhythm. Village celebrations, seasonal sacrifices, and harvest festivals punctuated daily life with communal activity. People walked slowly through processions, offered quiet prayers, sang simple songs, and shared food. There was joy, but it was gentle, understated, and harmonious with the flow of everyday life. Observation, participation, and reflection were more important than dramatic entertainment. Feasting and banquets were often part of festivals. Meals were shared with neighbors and community members, emphasizing moderation, social cohesion, and polite conversation. Imagine long tables with olives, bread, fish, and wine. Guests recline, speaking softly, listening to music or reciting poetry. Laughter is subtle, conversation measured, and the rhythm of food and drink follows a calm, steady pattern. There is pleasure here, but nothing hurried, nothing frantic, just steady enjoyment, reflection, and communal harmony. Religious ritual remained central to festivals. Sacrifices, prayers, and offerings to gods were performed with precision. Priests and priestesses moved deliberately, performing steps that had been practiced for years. Worshippers observed quietly, reflecting on divine presence and the larger patterns of life. Even the timing of events, sunrise, noon, or evening, was significant, creating a gentle synchronization between human activity and natural rhythms. Festivals often included athletic competitions, much like the Olympics, but on smaller scales. Running, wrestling, and javelin were performed slowly and with attention to form and ritual propriety. Victors received modest crowns, small statues, or public recognition. The focus was on participation, skill, and communal enjoyment, rather than spectacle or excess. Observers watched attentively, noting technique and celebrating the steady accomplishments of competitors. Music, poetry, and dance were also integral. Choruses moved rhythmically, instruments provided gentle accompaniment, and dancers performed rehearsed patterns. There was no frantic excitement, only a slow, meditative immersion in cultural expression. Music and movement punctuated the year's festivals, providing both aesthetic pleasure and ritual reflection. Even parades and processions were hypnotic in their rhythm. Citizens carried offerings, waved palm branches, or wore ceremonial garments. Animals or symbolic objects might be led in careful procession, each step deliberate, each movement carrying meaning. Observing such parades is like following a quiet river. There is motion, but no urgency. There is anticipation, but it unfolds gently, almost imperceptibly. Subtle humor and human folly appeared even in festivals. Children might stumble while carrying baskets, young men might trip during races, or revelers might misplace masks during dances. These moments were noted with mild amusement rather than scandal, gently reminding participants of human imperfection and the slow, reflective rhythm of life. Even the gods, according to myth, enjoyed these small,
understated ironies. Finally, festivals emphasize community, reflection, and rhythm. The Greeks understood that the slow, measured passage of the year required pauses for collective participation, observation, and celebration. Festivals reinforced social cohesion, honored divine influence, and provided space for gentle enjoyment. They were carefully woven into the patterns of daily life, creating a calm, repeating pulse of activity that balanced work, reflection, and ritual. As we close this part, picture a quiet evening festival in a Greek town. Lamps flicker, soft music drifts from the agora. People process slowly with offerings, children watch with wide eyes, and the scent of olive oil and roasting grain fills the air. The gods are honored, humans interact with subtle grace, and life unfolds with deliberate, gentle rhythm. It is a perfect environment for observation, reflection, and the quiet drift to sleep. In the next part, we will explore Greek mythology and the enduring tales of gods, heroes, and mortals, continuing our slow, hypnotic journey through the lost world of ancient Greece.
Mythology, gods, and the gentle flow of heroic tales. Welcome back, friends. If you're still curled up under a blanket, eyes half closed, or simply letting your mind drift, tonight's segment is perfect. We leave behind the rhythms of daily life, festivals, and ritual to immerse ourselves in the slowly unfolding world of Greek mythology, a universe where gods, heroes, and mortals interact with gentle irony, measured drama, and reflective rhythm. Let's begin with the Olympian gods, the central figures of Greek mythology. Zeus, king of the gods, rules from Mount Olympus with quiet authority, occasionally meddling in mortal affairs, but usually in subtle, indirect ways. Hera, his wife, is patient, calculating, and mildly exasperated by Zeus's antics. Poseidon rules the seas, often surly, yet never in a hurry. Athena embodies calm wisdom and strategic thinking. These deities are not frenzied or chaotic. They act with deliberation, creating patterns and consequences that unfold slowly over time. Mortals interact with gods in ritual, myth, and personal experience. Heroes like Heracles, Perseus, and Theseus perform deeds that are sometimes grand, but are always measured in narrative pacing. Even epic struggles, the slaying of monsters, retrieval of magical objects, or completion of arduous tasks, unfold in careful sequence. The tension is gentle, the narrative deliberate, and the outcomes often ironic. Heroes may succeed, fail, or bumble along the way, teaching quiet lessons about courage, cleverness, and human limitation. Creation myths offer another layer of hypnotic storytelling. The slow, patterned emergence of the cosmos, from chaos to earth, sky, and sea, invites reflection on order, balance, and inevitability. Titans, primordial beings, and the eventual rise of the Olympians create a structured, deliberate narrative, allowing listeners to absorb each stage of cosmic development. There is subtle humor here, too. The mighty often stumble, schemes fail, and the universe unfolds with quiet irony. Greek myths often highlight human folly and divine irony. Prometheus gifts fire to humanity, defying Zeus, and suffers a slow, deliberate punishment.
Pandora opens a jar, releasing troubles into the world, yet hope remains, a subtle, reflective lesson. Even minor gods or spirits display quirks, stubbornness, or mild mischief. Observing these tales is hypnotic. Events flow at measured speed, consequences unfold gradually, and moral or ironic lessons emerge softly rather than forcefully. Epic cycles like the Iliad and Odyssey are carefully structured explorations of heroism, war, and human emotion. Battles, journeys, and divine interventions are narrated with calm, reflective detail. Characters display flaws, virtues, and complex relationships, yet events unfold in a rhythmic, measured pace. The focus is not on instantaneous excitement, but on the slow, deliberate unfolding of character, circumstance, and consequence. Even minor myths and local legends contribute to the hypnotic rhythm of tales of nymphs, river gods, and village heroes. These stories are small ripples in the vast ocean of mythology, yet they reinforce cultural values, observation, and reflection. Heroic journeys often emphasize perseverance, patience, and cleverness rather than brute force. Odysseus, for example, moves slowly through trials, thinking carefully, observing, and adapting. Even when confronted with monsters, temptations, or divine interference, he proceeds with cautious planning and reflection. The narrative is measured, each event unfolding in sequence, allowing the listener to follow the rhythm of cause and effect gently. Greek mythology also intertwines with nature and observation. Gods inhabit mountains, rivers, and forests. Heroes travel across seas, plains, and cities. The natural world is as much a character as any mortal or deity. Observing landscapes, animals, and celestial phenomena becomes part of the story, enhancing the meditative, hypnotic quality of myth. Each setting, each natural element contributes to the flow of narrative and reflection. Finally, myths emphasize interconnectedness, pattern, and reflection. Gods, mortals, and heroes interact in ways that create gentle cycles of cause, effect, and consequence. Actions are rarely instantaneous. Effects ripple slowly, inviting careful observation. Humor, irony, and moral lessons are embedded subtly, allowing the listener to absorb meaning gradually. The world of Greek mythology is not frantic or chaotic. It is calm, structured, and quietly hypnotic, ideal for gentle reflection before sleep. As we close this part, imagine listening to a storyteller in a quiet courtyard as the sun sets. Flames flicker, shadows stretch across marble columns, and tales of gods and heroes unfold slowly. Mortals act, deities intervene, and consequences ripple gently through the narrative. It is a universe of patience, observation, and quiet reflection, an ideal accompaniment to a slow, meditative evening. In the next part, we will explore Greek theater, tragedy, and comedy, weaving human emotion, narrative, and subtle social commentary into the hypnotic rhythm of performance and observation.
Theater, tragedy, and comedy in ancient Greece. philosophy, debate, and the gentle cultivation of thought. Welcome back, friends. If you're still resting quietly, eyes half closed, or letting your mind drift along with the soft hum of the evening, tonight's segment is perfect. We move from theater and mythology to the slow, deliberate rhythm of Greek philosophy, a world where ideas, argument, and reflection unfold with calm, measured patience. Let's begin with Socrates, the man often remembered for asking endless questions. Socrates wandered the streets of Athens, engaging citizens in slow, reflective dialogue. He rarely provided answers. Instead, he guided others through careful questioning, observation, and reasoning. Imagine a quiet afternoon in the agora. Socrates calmly probes a merchant's understanding of justice, a young student's grasp of virtue, or a politician's concept of piety. Each question unfolds slowly, each answer invites reflection, and the rhythm of inquiry becomes hypnotic. Plato, Socrates' most famous student, formalized these slow meditations in dialogues. Written works like The Republic explore justice, ethics, and ideal forms through patient, methodical discussion. Characters converse, debate, and observe one another with calm attention. The narratives are measured, no rush, no abrupt conclusions, only gradual unfolding of philosophical insight. Reading or listening to Plato is like drifting through a gentle river of thought, observing each ripple and pattern without urgency. Aristotle offers another layer of calm observation. He classified animals, analyzed political systems, and explored ethics and logic with deliberate precision. His works emphasize careful categorization, observation of patterns, and slow reasoning. Even ethics, the concept of virtue as a balance of extremes, is presented not as a dramatic prescription, but as a reflective guide to measured living. Aristotle teaches us patience. Watch, consider, reason, and act deliberately. Greek philosophy often involved debate and dialogue in public spaces, especially in gymnasia, agoras, and lecture halls. Citizens, students, and scholars would gather to discuss justice, politics, the cosmos, or virtue. These discussions were deliberate, one speaker at a time, pauses for reflection, careful listening, and consideration of each perspective. Arguments unfolded slowly, encouraging mindfulness, patience, and gentle intellectual engagement. Even minor philosophers contributed to the hypnotic rhythm of Greek thought. Epicureans advised moderation and quiet pleasure. Stoics emphasized patience, endurance, and observation of natural law. Each school offered patterns of living, reasoning, and reflection, reinforcing the gentle rhythm of intellectual life. There is a subtle irony in their debates too. Human beings endlessly discuss virtue, yet remain imperfect. Observing this is quietly amusing, gently reflective, and deeply meditative. Education and mentorship were central to philosophical practice. Students observed, questioned, and practiced reasoning under the guidance of teachers. Lessons unfolded slowly. Repetition reinforced understanding, and reflection was more valued than immediate achievement. The rhythm of teaching mirrored the rhythm of life, patient, deliberate, and carefully structured. Greek philosophy also emphasized observation of nature and human behavior. Ethical reflections considered how humans interact. Political theory examined social patterns, and metaphysics explored the cosmos. Observation was calm and methodical. Notice patterns, reflect on consequences, and cultivate wisdom. Even abstract contemplation was grounded in measured, deliberate thought. Humor and subtle irony occasionally appear in philosophical life. Socrates was famously aware of his own ignorance. Plato delighted in paradoxes, and Aristotle gently criticized exaggeration. These moments provide quiet amusement, gently reminding us that human thought is fallible, observation is ongoing, and wisdom grows slowly over time. Finally, Greek philosophy is deeply integrated into the broader rhythm of life. It complements ritual, domestic routine, festivals, athletics, art, and theater. Reflection, observation, and intellectual engagement follow the same measured patterns as daily chores, religious ceremonies, and storytelling. Philosophy is not rushed. It is a gentle, immersive practice that cultivates patience, mindfulness, and calm reflection, perfect for a quiet evening. As we close this part, imagine a sun-dappled courtyard in Athens. Students sit cross-legged on stone steps, listening carefully to a teacher's measured words. Questions are asked, examples considered, and reflections shared slowly. The air carries the faint murmur of discussion, occasional laughter, and the rustle of leaves. Life, thought, and observation flow together with gentle rhythm, a perfect environment for calm reflection and the slow drift toward sleep. In the next part, we will explore Greek art, sculpture, and the meditative process of creation, moving from philosophy to visual expression, continuing our hypnotic journey through the lost world of ancient Greece.
Art, sculpture, and the gentle rhythm of creation.
Welcome back, friends. If you're still resting quietly, maybe with a soft blanket or a pillow supporting your head, tonight's segment is perfect. We leave behind philosophy, debate, and daily life to immerse ourselves in the slow, deliberate, and hypnotic world of Greek art and sculpture. A universe where observation, patience, and quiet creativity shape human experience. Let's begin with sculpture, perhaps the most iconic form of Greek art. Artists like Phidias, Polykleitos, and Praxiteles worked slowly and deliberately, transforming marble and bronze into figures that capture calm, proportion, and subtle emotion. Every chisel stroke was measured, every curve carefully considered. Imagine an artist in a sunlit workshop. Dust drifts slowly through beams of light. Tools scrape gently against stone, and hands move with patient, rhythmic precision. Creation is meditation. The Greeks valued proportion, balance, and harmony above all. Sculptors followed mathematical guidelines to achieve idealized human forms. Faces were serene, bodies poised, and posture deliberate. Even depictions of movement were carefully composed, capturing subtle energy without haste or exaggeration. Observing a statue is a slow, reflective process. One notices posture, tension, symmetry, and the gentle expression of inner life. It is art as calm meditation. Pottery and vase painting offer another glimpse into hypnotic creativity. Craftsmen painted daily life, mythological scenes, and ritual acts with careful detail. Each line, each figure, and each motif was executed slowly, allowing the observer to absorb narrative, proportion, and symbolism. Everyday objects became canvases for quiet storytelling, blending utility with aesthetic reflection. Imagine holding a simple clay cup, tracing the painted figures with your eyes, slowly absorbing their stories as if listening to a gentle narrative. Greek art also intertwined with ritual and culture. Statues adorned temples, altars, and public spaces. Reliefs depicted gods, heroes, or civic achievement. Each creation reinforced the rhythm of communal life, observation, reflection, and ritual appreciation. Even minor decorative details, the curve of a frieze, the folds of drapery, the patterns on a vase, invited measured attention and calm contemplation. Architecture followed similar principles. Temples, stoas, and civic buildings emphasized proportion, symmetry, and deliberate spatial rhythm. Columns, pediments, and friezes were carefully aligned, creating a visual and structural cadence. Entering a temple was not an overwhelming spectacle, but a slow immersion in harmony, balance, and reflective observation. One could walk among columns, notice shadows and light, and absorb the calm precision of design with meditative ease. Greek art also recorded stories and human emotion. Reliefs depicted mythological battles, gods' interventions, or daily life with subtle detail. Even in dramatic scenes, gestures were stylized, expressions controlled, and narrative clarity maintained. The viewer could follow the story at a measured pace, reflecting on character, action, and outcome without being rushed or overwhelmed. Humor and subtle irony occasionally appear in visual art. Satires with exaggerated features, gods caught in awkward moments, or playful animals add quiet amusement to statues, vases, and reliefs. These small details remind us that Greek art, while striving for idealized beauty, was attentive to human imperfection and the gentle amusement it could inspire. Observing these small details is meditative, inviting soft smiles rather than laughter or frenzy. Greek art also reflects integration with nature. Sculptors observed the human body, plants, animals, and landscapes carefully, incorporating natural rhythms into their work. Drapery flows like gentle water, muscles curve with realistic tension, and animals are depicted in calm, natural postures. Art becomes a meditation on the harmony between human creativity and the surrounding world. Finally, Greek art emphasizes process over haste. Every sculpture, painting, or architectural element unfolds through patient observation, repeated practice, and quiet reflection. Mistakes were corrected slowly, proportions adjusted deliberately, and mastery achieved over years. The rhythm of creation mirrors the rhythm of life, steady, deliberate, and hypnotically absorbing. As we close this part, imagine walking through a sunlit Greek workshop or temple courtyard. Marble dust floats gently, brushes trace delicate lines, and artists and observers alike move with calm attention. Statues and vases capture the serene rhythm of human and divine life, inviting reflection, subtle amusement, and the slow drift toward mental calm. In the next part, we will explore Greek science, astronomy, and the patient study of the cosmos, moving from visual creation to observation and understanding of the natural and celestial world, continuing our hypnotic journey through the lost world of ancient Greece.
Science, astronomy, and the gentle observation of the cosmos. Welcome back, friends. If you're still settled comfortably, perhaps with eyes half closed or mind wandering gently, tonight's segment is perfect. We leave behind the tactile world of art and sculpture to turn our attention upward toward the skies, where Greek scientists and astronomers observed, measured, and reflected on the cosmos with patient, hypnotic precision. Let's begin with early Greek astronomy. Figures like Thales, Anaximander, and later Hipparchus and Ptolemy approached the stars not with frantic curiosity, but with careful observation. They noted the rising and setting of stars, the phases of the moon, and the slow dance of planets across the night sky. Their work was meticulous. Nights spent recording positions,
decades spent tracking subtle changes. Observation was slow, deliberate, and almost meditative, a perfect exercise for patient reflection. Hipparchus, for example, catalogued stars and measured their brightness and position with careful attention. He detected precession, the gradual shift of the Earth's axis, through long-term observation. Imagine standing under the vast dark canopy of the Aegean night, scroll in hand, recording positions slowly, noting patterns and feeling the gentle rhythm of celestial motion. It is both hypnotic and grounding. Greek astronomers also explored planetary motion. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn were observed as wandering stars, their paths plotted carefully over months and years. Movements were measured, records compared, and subtle patterns emerged. This was not speculation alone. It was patient, empirical observation, a rhythm of watching and recording that mirrored the slow cycles of nature itself. Mathematics and geometry were intertwined with observation. Figures like Eudoxus and Aristarchus applied geometric models to the heavens, exploring distances, orbits, and cosmic proportions. Measurements were calculated slowly, ratios checked, and predictions made with deliberate care. Even when theories were imperfect by modern standards, the process emphasized calm reasoning, meticulous observation, and patient reflection.
medicine, healing, and the gentle observation of the body. Welcome back, friends. If you're still resting quietly, perhaps wrapped in a blanket or reclining comfortably, tonight's segment is perfect. We move from the vast cosmos to the intimate world of human health, exploring how ancient Greeks approached medicine, healing, and the patient observation of the body with calm reflection, careful study, and subtle humor. Let's begin with Hippocrates, often called the father of medicine. Hippocrates and his followers observed patients slowly and methodically, noting symptoms, timing, and patterns. Illness was not a sudden catastrophe, but a process to be studied, recorded, and understood. Imagine a physician in a modest clinic, watching a patient breathe, recording temperature, observing the subtle pulse of the body, all with measured attention and quiet patience. The pace is slow, deliberate, and contemplative. Greek medicine emphasized balance and harmony, particularly the theory of the four humors: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. Illness was believed to arise from imbalance, and treatment sought gentle restoration. Diet, exercise, baths, and herbs were prescribed carefully, often over weeks or months. Healing was a rhythmical process, requiring observation, patience, and trust. It was less about miraculous cures and more about steady, thoughtful care. Medical observation was highly detailed. Physicians noted the color of the skin, the pulse, the quality of breathing, and the texture of bodily fluids. They recorded responses to treatments, adjusted remedies slowly, and considered lifestyle factors. The practice encouraged mindfulness, observing subtle changes, reflecting on causes, and acting with measured care. Even errors were studied gently as lessons for future patients. Greek healing also included diet and lifestyle. Meals were structured for health, incorporating moderation and balance. Exercise, rest, and exposure to natural elements were prescribed to maintain equilibrium. Illness was often treated holistically, with attention to mental and emotional well-being as well as physical symptoms. The rhythm of daily living, meals, walks, and sleep was considered as important as medical intervention. Temples and sanctuaries, like the Asclepia, provided another dimension to healing. Patients visited these sacred sites for incubation, sleeping in the presence of the god Asclepius to receive divine insight or dreams that guided treatment. The experience was slow, meditative, and ritualized. Quiet reflection, gentle observation, and patient waiting were key elements, creating a calm and structured environment for recovery. Greek medicine also practiced surgery and minor procedures, but these were approached deliberately and cautiously. Techniques were applied slowly, with attention to hygiene and patient response. Instruments were simple yet effective, and precision mattered more than speed. The process encouraged calm observation, careful intervention, and thoughtful reflection on outcomes. Even herbal remedies and natural treatments were applied methodically. Plants, oils, and minerals were selected according to careful study and observation of their effects. Doses were measured, applications monitored, and responses recorded over time. Healing was a patient dialogue between human observation and natural rhythm, rather than abrupt intervention or magical instant cures. Humor and subtle irony appeared in medical practice too.
Patients might exaggerate symptoms, physicians might argue over theories, and treatments sometimes failed in ways that offered quiet amusement. These moments were observed with mild humor rather than ridicule, reminding both healer and patient that medicine is as much about patience, reflection, and observation as it is about cure. Finally, Greek medicine emphasizes integration with life and culture. Healing, like philosophy, art, and ritual, follows a slow, measured rhythm. Observation, reflection, and careful intervention connect the mind, body, and environment. Physicians practiced mindfulness, patients participated in their own recovery, and daily routines supported overall well-being. It is a calm, holistic approach, perfectly suited for quiet contemplation. As we close this part, imagine a sunlit courtyard or shaded Asclepion. A physician moves slowly from patient to patient, observing, noting, and gently guiding treatment. Herbs release faint aromas, water trickles in small basins, and the rhythm of breathing, walking, and reflection fills the space. Healing is not dramatic or sudden. It is deliberate, immersive, and quietly hypnotic. A gentle meditation on human life. In the next part, we will explore Greek education, mentorship, and the slow cultivation of skill and wisdom, weaving together domestic, public, and intellectual life, continuing our calm, sleep-inducing journey through the lost world of ancient Greece.
Education, mentorship, and the gentle cultivation of wisdom. the enduring legacy of ancient Greece. Welcome back, friends. If you're still resting comfortably, eyes half closed, or simply letting your mind wander slowly, tonight's segment is perfect. We leave behind the direct experiences of daily life, education, and observation to consider how ancient Greece has left a gentle, persistent rhythm in the world, a legacy that unfolds quietly, almost imperceptibly through time. Let's start with philosophy. The slow, reflective methods of Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle continue to ripple through intellectual history. Modern philosophy, ethics, political theory, and logic owe a subtle, patient debt to their measured inquiry. The gentle rhythm of questioning, reflection, and careful reasoning is not a loud or flashy inheritance. It is a quiet pulse that guides thought even today. Consider a modern classroom, a debate, or a reasoned discussion. Somewhere in the background, the calm influence of Greek dialogue lingers. Science and observation follow a similar thread. Greek astronomers, mathematicians, and natural philosophers established patterns of careful measurement, documentation, and patient reasoning. While instruments and methods have evolved, the underlying rhythm, observe, record, analyze, reflect, remains central to scientific practice. There is a hypnotic continuity here. Centuries may pass, but the gentle cadence of observation first cultivated in Greece continues in laboratories and observatories around the world. Greek art and architecture also leave a slow, visual echo. Proportion, balance, and harmony established in sculpture, pottery, and temple design continue to influence aesthetics. Even in modern buildings or public art, one can trace faint lines of Greek ideals: measured geometry, careful composition, and attention to subtle detail. It is not always obvious, but it is persistent, quietly shaping perception and appreciation over time. Theater, drama, and narrative are similarly enduring. Tragedy and comedy established rhythms of storytelling, character development, and reflection that are still felt in literature, stage, and film. The patient unfolding of plot, careful observation of character, and subtle irony introduced by Greek playwrights resonate even in contemporary storytelling. One can imagine an audience slowly absorbed in a play, unaware that echoes of Aeschylus or Aristophanes shaped the experience. Greek education and mentorship left a subtle, pervasive influence. The model of attentive instruction, immersive apprenticeship, and slow cultivation of skill persists in teaching, tutoring, and mentorship practices around the world. The rhythm of observation, practice, gentle correction, and reflection continues to shape learning, quietly reinforcing patience and mindfulness. Even daily life and ritual leave traces. Festivals, civic ceremonies, and public gatherings established patterns of social reflection, collective observation, and measured celebration. Modern civic events, cultural rituals, and even the rhythm of seasonal festivals carry hints of these Greek structures. The world inherited more than art or ideas. It inherited patterns of calm engagement with life itself. Subtle humor, irony, and human reflection travel across centuries. The gentle amusement found in myth, theater, and social commentary provides lessons on observation, patience, and the human condition. This enduring legacy is not loud or spectacular. It whispers, nudges, and gently shapes perception.
inviting quiet reflection rather than dramatic revelation. Finally, Greek influence integrates across domains. Art, architecture, philosophy, science, education, drama, and ritual all blend into a holistic rhythm that informs modern life. Its presence is slow, continuous, and immersive, a steady pulse beneath the surface of culture, thought, and observation. The legacy is hypnotic, subtle, and enduring, an echo of a lost world that continues to shape the present. As we close this part, imagine walking through a modern museum, university, or theater. Columns, sculptures, texts, and performances unfold around you. The lessons of patience, observation, and reflection permeate the environment, quietly guiding thought, aesthetic appreciation, and moral contemplation. Ancient Greece is no longer a physical presence, but its rhythm continues, soft, persistent, and hypnotically gentle, a fitting companion to a slow, meditative evening. In the next part, we will explore the interplay between Greek myths, daily life, and cultural memory, reflecting on how ordinary people internalized, observed, and lived these stories in subtle, almost invisible ways.